went on this whole trip with the expectation that if I was the only black woman, I was going anyway. One of my friends was asking, like, girl, do any black people do this? And I was like, I mean, yeah, sure. Because I'd seen people in pictures and like in some of the ads, and I followed
one brown spot.
Yeah, so I do remember consciously looking to see if there were black people or people of color and what percentage, how many were there. There was a couple here. But at the same time, as I was looking at our itinerary, I'm like, okay, if I am the only person, I'm still going. So there was no way that was going to deter me. So when I saw you and I saw Kiana and Josh and Nora,
there was a couple of other black women who didn't make it to the end, which is very sad.
Yeah, but I was happy. Like, okay, I know that it's not just going to be me.
What did you think your experience would be as a black woman?
Talking to some of my friends and family members that have traveled a lot, their worldview was that the world just treats us very differently, and that it's so much better outside the United States. What shocked me was going to different countries where it seemed like the people had never seen a woman of color before. There were times where, strangers would come up off of the street and they would take pictures with me. Like,
what countries?
Croatia was one.
Oh, yeah.
It happened a few times in Asia. I remember being in Ha Long Bay and I was on the beach and a man looked at me and he wanted to take a picture, and which actually that doesn't actually offend me. I was standing in line at customs one time and there was a woman, I saw her with her iPad. This is a true story. She had her iPad out. She was standing over here going this way in the line and I'm going this way, so I'm not really paying attention. And I noticed as I turned to the left, I see myself in her. So I was like, so I just embraced it. So I was like,
we know there are cheaper ways to travel. We know that there are more interesting places you could go besides the one African country on the itinerary. So why did you even pick remote year? And then, given your experience as a black woman, what would your advice be to other black women who are thinking about the program?
Okay, I was in public education for 16 years, something like that. And I was one of those people that lived a life, like I did all the things I was supposed to do. I went to college and then I went to grad school and I went to grad school again, and I kind of thought to myself, okay, what would I do with my life? And I consistently came up with, I would quit my job, I would sell my house, and I would travel around the world. Wow. And so I started asking myself, okay, well, why are you not doing that, Nikki? I couldn't not try it. So answering your question about why remote year, what appealed to me about remote year was the community. I knew I wanted to travel, but I didn't want to go by myself. And I've got a lot of friends that, they will travel in the continental United States, but when I start saying things about let's go to Europe, let's go to Africa, they just could never kind of really get with that plan. When I saw remote year, I'm like, okay, you know what? 30-something strangers in a foreign country, that sounds just like an amazing adventure. And I want to see what it's like. I want to experience it. I want to know. I want to meet the people that were crazy enough to leave their life behind, hop on a plane and go to Lisbon and live with 30-odd strangers for a year. And
I was kind of shaking my head like, why? I'm
like, no.
Won't be me.
There is no part of me that regrets it. Every one of you guys, I love all of you. I could not have asked for a better group of people to travel with, a more interesting group of people, a smarter, more talented group. We've got our quirks as a community, but I love that about us. But that's what I wanted. I didn't want to go and look at these amazing countries and meet amazing people and look at these cultures and eat food and have no one to share it with. It basically was year-long travel with a community of people that are committed to traveling for the same length of time. Oh, and we'll do the planning for you.
You got it.
Hey, oh yes to all of that.
Yeah. Check. You tell me where to go.
Right.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, like, okay, so I just show up and then you guys hand me keys and a SIM card. That, yes, I'm doing that.
So what would your advice be for black women who are like, I kind of want to do it.
Do it.
Sure.
Do it. Do it. The more of us that do it, the better it gets. The more faces. That was my whole mentality when I decided I was going to sign up for the program. I was like, you know what? Even if I am the only Black woman in my program. I want other women, when they're looking at pictures and things like that, to see my face. So if somebody is looking, okay, are there any other people of color? There you go. And I think that's important, because I feel like so often, if we don't see ourselves represented, then we will create sometimes the narrative that Black people don't do this. And that is never true. That is never, ever true, And I want Black children to see that, yes, we do all these things. There's nothing that we don't do. So Black women out there, Black people, all people, if you see this program and there's something in your spirit that says, I want to do this, do it. I feel like I've learned, one, that I'm a bit more adaptable and resourceful than I thought. Because when you're traveling to a different country every single month, it's not just even a different city, it's a different country, a different currency, a different language, a different everything. To be able to adapt to that and to still keep wanting to travel more. So I think I'm a bit more adaptable and resourceful than I thought. I learned that I can jump off the roof of a boat or a cliff and be okay, But then I also think I've gotten a lot of clarity as to like what I value and what I want, in terms of just like my career, like what work should look like, what I want it to look like in this next chapter.
And then your advice for white folks.
I think my advice for everybody is live the life that you want to live, and don't apologize for it, and don't wait and ask for permission for it. Live the life that you want to live. So if you see something like Remote Year and you want to travel around the world, or whatever that thing is that you want to do, go ahead and do it. And don't live your life to make parents happy or to make society happy or any of those pressures that people put on you. Do that thing that's in your heart, that's been in your heart, that you weren't sure, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to afford it? Just know that it can be done. Don't wait. Live your life.
What are your tips and tricks? I was talking to someone I mentioned, because I think they were concerned about they were a product junkie. And I was like, I know a woman who brought 4 months worth of product with her to survive.
I'm just going to tell you right now, I am not the minimalist. I need things. Okay, so God, my tips and tricks.
Well, I don't know if you.
I don't know that I don't think I am. My suitcase has been constantly overweight, and I'm not sorry. I got a giant bottle of oil the other day, and I'm not even
we're all helping.
And you all, I'm
we all
sharing
benefit. We all win.
We are a community. We are a village.
That really is it, though. Like, if we were out in some foreign place by ourselves, and it's like, I need castor oil, it would have been a whole thing. But I could just text you, like, hey, girl, can I get some? You're like, sure can. Come on.
I got you. Come on, bring a bottle.
Boom. And we're good.